Washington Post sports columnist at Greenberg on Twitter. Good morning, Neil.
Good morning, boys. How you doing?
We are doing well, as always. Before we get into Terry McLaurin and more, you retweeted this from the Washington Post. You did this about an hour ago. A massive rock from Mars sold at an auction for nearly $5.3 million, becoming the highest-selling meteorite ever. I had no idea that the meteor and meteorite market was so hot, Neil.
Wow.
I know. You got to advance a little bit further in the World Series of Poker to get us one of these rocks.
Oh, wow. I could buy a speck of that massive rock with what I brought home.
I understand, like, why?
I was blown away by that.
What's the big deal? Let's just say you're the guy that buys it. Like, why? What would anybody care? You got a rock from Mars. Okay, that's cool. I mean,
guy's a big space nerd, obviously.
Yeah, but he's got competition for it. Like, why would there be competition for a big rock from Mars?
I don't know.
It's from Mars.
All right, it's cool. It's from Mars. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But, I mean, $5 million? Cool.
$5.3 million cool.
Look, EB, you know I love you, but for someone that tweets about his, fire pit and everything that a lot of people have, imagine being able to tweet your rock from Mars.
Okay. I mean, it's a pretty good flex. I mean, if you got the biggest rock from Mars currently on planet Earth, I guess that's a big flex.
I guess.
Ooh, you got a tiny rock? Look how big mine is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. The guy that had like the $5 million rock from Mars is bitter now.
Yeah.
Are you in the collectible
salty
game? Like, do you buy like high or invest in high end like football cards, baseball cards, basketball cards, all that stuff?
No, I have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old. If I had any sort of memorabilia that was worth anything, it'd be at the bottom of the toilet because my kids thought it was probably funny to let it see.
So
if it
you
floated.
that was never something you were into.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was in baseball cards when I was, younger, and obviously I have a pretty sizable comic book collection. I don't think I have a lot of things that are worth money.
Yeah.
At the time, like I had the Canseco rookie card when he was, on his way to 40-40, and obviously a bunch of Mark McGwire stuff, and all the Don-Russ rated rookie cards.
Now you got to have a 1 of 1, or it means nothing.
Right. It's just it's too hard. It's just not something I'm into. I buy Pokemon cards in bulk for my kids because they just
destroy them,
do everything to them. Yeah.
Understood. All right, Neil. So you just posted about 20 minutes ago on your Twitter at Greenberg how much are wideouts paid in the NFL, and it's a really good graphic as far as rank in the league, the average age they are at signing, the AAV of their contracts, and their average salary. So you argue that most would think McLaurin, who turns 30, is in the top 10, but outside of the top 5. And as I look at the chart, do you feel like Adam Peters looks at the 16 to 20 rank at wideouts and their average age is 30.3 and that average salary is a little over 22 million? Do you think that that's where he kind of values Terry because of his advanced age at this point? He turns 30 in September.
I don't know if it's that low, but I will tell you that this is one of the hardest pricing models like I've ever had to work up because, I mean, Terry McLaurin he's not an enigma, but there are just so many factors that are going into this, and I think Adam Peters looks at everything, right? Like they're looking at everything. Probably, obviously, they have access to more stuff than I do. But just looking at McLaurin and like and I tweeted this, like him having a career year or his most impactful year last year probably was the worst thing that could happen to him because it skews the expectations, right? Like there's so much euphoria and optimism around the club in general with Jay and Daniels. He had an amazing performance. And oh, by the way, he's 30 years old, which is, typically on the downturn of most wide receivers' careers. And then the wide receiver market's kind of exploding a little bit. I mean, it's tough. It's tough to put a number on what he's worth. And, there are two components, right? There's the on the field stuff, and then there's the locker room off the field stuff that is certainly something that needs to be valued. It becomes a very tricky situation.
So I don't quite understand what you originally were saying, Cakes, in the premise about 16 to 20. You're saying that the top receivers were in that
like
range?
Their rank as far as like their stats.
Yes.
So it had to be a little older.
Yeah, those guys, their average age at signing was 30, where the guys who ranked 1 to 5, their average age at signing was 25.
Yeah.
Guys like Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson,
Right.
like they fall into that category.
Right.
Yeah, like the top 5 wide receivers are paid about $35 million a year, and then you lose about $5 million per year as you go down to 6 to 10, 11 to 15, et cetera. So it was just like some back of the envelope stuff. Like, where do you think McLaurin ranks among wide receivers? And that gives you a little bit of an idea of what that's worth. I think he's definitely like 8th or 9th.
Okay. If you took age out of the equation, what do you think he'd be worth?
Well,
let's say
you can't really take it.
Well, just say he was 2 years younger.
Probably like 32 million a year. And let me say one thing.
Yeah.
I don't think that I don't think the hang up is on how much money to pay McLaurin. I firmly believe the hang up is in term. Because when you look at because when you're looking at like exactly what I'm looking at, how many he only gets 1 second contract, right? And you want to maximize that because then he's going to be 34 maybe. 34 years old possibly for his next contract, and then we're severely in the decline phase of most wide receivers. So I get that he wants to maximize this
Wouldn't
contract.
it be his 3rd contract?
Oh yeah, his 3rd contract. But this is the one where he's probably going to make the most money.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to maximize the amount of years that you get for that. So I have no inside knowledge. It's just my belief is that we're talking the hang-up is term. I don't think the hang-up is necessarily money because money in the NFL doesn't really, the salary cap money is so fungible in terms of being able to make money appear, disappear, whatever. I think it's term.
Do you think who was the other Ohio State receiver that just signed?
Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, I think the Garrett Wilson deal helped or hurt Terry, or are you of the opinion, as many are, that it doesn't affect it because of the age difference?
I think it's a hard comp to make. I mean, because he's 24 years old, Garrett Wilson is, and it's almost a 6-year difference. I certainly think it helps in terms of the money aspect of it, the average annual salary.
Yeah.
And again, I don't think you can say to Terry McLaurin he's not worth $32 million a year, especially in light of what he's done, especially in light of expecting the team to take a step forward. But then also, I heard Grant, Paulson talking about this. I mean, he and Barry, our columnist here, wrote about it. I mean, he's the commander, right? Like when you talk about the type of guy you want in the Commander's locker room, like he's the guy. Like that's the guy that you want. You want 100 of them in terms of demeanor and all that other stuff. So, I think that the money aspect of it is very easy to get around. I really do believe this is term.
So if you were being fiscally responsible and you were the GM and you were trying to do the right thing, what term? So what do you think? An extra 2 years? And
2 years is what I would say would make a lot of sense.
Right. So which would be what? How much guaranteed? 65, 70 million in that range?
Yeah. I mean, you can. Yeah, absolutely. I think the shorter term deal with more guaranteed would get everybody to where they needed to be. The best case scenario, obviously, for the Commanders is to let him play one more year on this contract that he has and see how everyone develops, including Jaden Daniels.
What do you think the likelihood is of them risking just scorn and even teammates being pissed off that they didn't do right by Terry if they just say, you know what, Terry, we're just going to let you play it out, and if you play the way we think, we'll reward you, or we'll just franchise you?
Yeah, I mean that's the worst case scenario. I mean, I can definitely see it happening. I even talked about it in the piece. Like that's obviously an option. But when you're looking at this team coming off an NFC Conference Championship game with one of the most electrifying quarterbacks in the game and more goodwill around the team than we've seen in two decades,
almost 3.
I think you absolutely have to preserve that part of it. And even if it means like biting off a little bit more on the organization side, like I think that trade-off's worth it Now, am I concerned that Terry's not going to be signed? No. Am I concerned that this is going to turn into something like truly meaningful by the time we're getting ready to play real football? I don't. I think it's going to be settled. But again, Terry's the guy. Like, if you're not going to sign Terry McLaurin to a Commanders deal that kind of keeps him around, then all that lip service that you've been saying is just that. It's just lip service. Like, you're not really looking for a Commanders guy. You're looking to make the best possible investments in players, no matter who they are. Mm-hmm. And I'm very curious to see how that part shakes out.
All right, Neil, got to run. Good stuff. That's Neil Greenberg from the Washington Post.
Thank you, buddy.
All right. Love you guys. Have a great weekend.
Love you too, man.
Coming up next, we'll open up EB's entertainment page here on the Junkies.